Hi everybody and welcome back to another episode of TV Time with Maggie. I am Maggie and I am missing my co-host Sasha. I feel like she's right here somehow. Like I want her to be like, oh, and I'm Sash. I'm missing her today, but I wanted to quickly make a video about our spring TV. During the winter time, there was a lot of new shows that I tried out and my favorite was The Umbrella Academy. It's on Netflix, and I'll put in the description the name of the shows that I'm mentioning. But for the spring, I feel like there's a lot of returns. There are not a lot of new shows that I want to watch. If I do, just to know that I am doing smaller, encapsulated little reviews on IGTV, and these are like more broader. What am I doing this season, this TV season? Because I told you guys, my calendar functions with the TV season. So now that it's going to be in spring, I am hoping that here in New York the weather kind of reflects spring. So yeah, I think as soon as I start watching my spring shows and they come back, the weather will follow, hopefully. So some of my favorite returns will be Good Girls, which returned already I feel a few days ago. I think it returned on the 2nd of this month. Good Girls is a show on NBC, and I talked about it before. It's one of my favorite shows, one of my favorite girl gangs that I want to be a part of, kind of. If you guys know that I love Claws, I love Good Girls as well, and this is a little bit more like, if you like something like Weeds, you'll probably like Good Girls because it has a lot of humor in it, but it's really about these three moms trying to make ends meet, and they get into these situations where it's like, it's kind of like Breaking Bad, where like they didn't know where their crime spree would lead. If you like that kind of show, somebody like an ordinary person getting into the crime business, into the drug dealing business, whatever you like, that's the type of show that Good Girls is, and it's led by three wonderful actresses. Another show that's coming up, I actually have two big finales this year, at least for the springtime. One is on the CW. It's Jane the Virgin. Jane the Virgin, this is going to be its last season. Jane the Virgin kind of started a little late, so we're seeing it now in the spring and it's going to end. And I'm wary about it because the last episode kind of brought in an unexpected guest, and I don't know where the story will lead now. So I'm excited to see where, but I'm also kind of bummed out because Jane the Virgin was one of my favorite shows, and to see it end, even though I'm all for shows ending on a high and ending on a complete story, whether or not that story ends the way that you want to, instead of just building story for story's sake. I think that her character evolved enough that now we can see where she would end up. But I'm gonna miss the cast, and having someone who speaks Spanish and having them put little subtitles for non-Spanish speakers on the bottom of the screen. So I'm definitely gonna miss that. And the good thing is that it's on Netflix now, and they actually have it in Spanish, or like they have like the Spanish subtitles, so I can watch it with my mom. I can rewatch it, and it's one of the shows that my sister and I watched together. So I'm excited for her to catch up, and then for us to discuss the season finale. Now, the biggest season finale, or the biggest series finale of all of this kind of couple of years, will be taking place in April. And as you guys know, I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, so I'm excited to see. I'm like excited, but I also, it's one of those shows where I don't want it to end, because it's just part of like my yearly routine to be like, get excited for it, on HBO, as you guys know. And now it's going to end, and we've been waiting for this ending for over a year now, and I'm hoping that they will deliver a really good ending. I'm never disappointed with the show. I'm never disappointed with the season, and I'm excited because last season I spoke about how it was building to having all of these women be in control and be in power. All these women that were in one way, shape, or form at a previous season at a disadvantage are now growing in power, and now this is like their season of just like, okay, now we have the power, now let me talk to you about what we're gonna do with it. Going back to Netflix, there are two shows that I am excited for them to return. One is Santa Clarita Diet. This is a show that my brother got me hooked on, and it's such a silly, wonderful show with Drew Barrymore. I feel like the comedy's on point. It's one of those gems where like I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but once you watch it, I promise you will love it. It's a show about a mom who becomes a zombie, or they haven't said the word zombie really in the show, but some sort of virus has made her zombie-ish. And this new you know, decaying body of hers now, it makes her think of life differently and makes her be more alive and be more vibrant. It has like that hint of like, you know, fantasy, sci-fi-ish going into it because of the whole zombie aspect. But at the end of the day, it's hilarious. I feel like the actors don't, I mean, they do take it seriously, but it's so effortless. I mean, and it's Drew Barrymore, like who doesn't love her? So I'm excited for her to come back as like this zombie mom. But the whole thing about it is about family. It's about reconnecting with your family and having this secret that now connects the family more, this little tiny unit. The other crazy family that I'm excited to see back on Netflix is Sabrina and her aunts and her cousin. I am excited about Sabrina because I loved the first season. I thought it was really well done. I specifically had like a review for it on IGTV. I'll put the link down below to that. But Sabrina really surprised me. I didn't know what to expect because I knew it was going to be different than the comics, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. But I didn't expect it to be this different. And I really enjoy the fact that they kind of switched around the roles and genders of certain characters, and they put a lot more people of color on screen. So I'm excited to see Sabrina, and this season is going to be I feel like a lot darker because, you know, now she's going to like this darker path. And Ambrose, anything that has to do with Ambrose, like I'm here for it. I'm here for his romance. I'm here for his breakups. I'm here for him, you know, whatever he needs to do to get his life. I want that for Ambrose. I feel like he's a really fantastic character. So there's two other shows that I'm excited for them to come back as well, and they're in a completely different sphere. But as you can see, most of these shows have women as their leads, so I'm here for that. I'm so here for that. One of them is Superstore. That's another gem of a comedy. I'm so here for Superstore with America Ferrera. I'm just so into that show, and I want to see where it leads. It's one of those shows that it has like a smart, it looks silly, but if you think about what they're talking about, the subject matter that they're bringing about, especially like immigration, and they bring up stereotypes, they bring up sexism. It's fantastic, and I recommend it. It's on NBC. And last but not least, I believe this one is also coming in April, so it's a little bit later on in the spring. But I am all here for Killing Eve. So Killing Eve was Sasha's favorite show. I want to say it was her favorite show last year, or like favorite show of the spring season. And she was the one who got me into it, and it's on BBC, and it stars Sandra Oh, and she won a Golden Globe for her performance as Eve. And I had like a little piece, and I'm gonna put the link down below. I wrote a little piece on Killing Eve because it's one of those shows where this could have easily been two male leads. The fact that there are two women, first of all, that's revolutionary in and of itself, and second of all, I feel like the way that the story is being communicated, just by the mere fact that they are both women, it just brings a lot to that genre, to that kind of like cat and mouse game. Like, are they going to find her? Are they not going to find her? Any kind of interaction between them is always like this weird tense, and they're also like from different cultural backgrounds. Like, they're not both like just white women, and having Sandra Oh bring this character to life, it's so I love her. I love Eve. I love her because I've always been an advocate of female characters that are strong without losing their silliness and femininity. I am all here for that. I'm kind of wary of you know, characters that in order to be strong, they have to be male-like. They have to have like some stereotypical male traits. Like, they have to be like, you know, tall, or like burly, or like they have to be super strong with their emotions, and that's not what Eve is in this show as a detective, and it is her sensibility and intuition that actually gets her the job of finding this serial killer. And the 100 also on the CW is one of those shows too that have these really great female characters that have a heart and have a mind and have a brain, and they don't have to just be always super contrived with their emotions or anything like that. I'm all here for making femininity strong, because it's not one or the other, it's both together that make us dynamic women. All right guys, that is it for my spring TV. I know for sure that I'm missing a few. Some of them are not on my regular viewing schedule because they're not on networks that I have access to, that I have to maneuver around to find them. But I know that I'm missing a few, so please put links down below if there's a show that you guys would like me to watch this season. I'm all here for it. And I will put a link down below not only to the IGTV videos that I've been doing, because I will be reviewing like smaller shows. I'm definitely doing a smaller version or condensed like review of the 2 finales that I mentioned, the Jane the Virgin and also Game of Thrones, so be on the lookout for that. But I'll also be putting down my blog where I kind of have more time and space to kind of talk about different topics on television, especially television representation of women. So yes, I'll see you guys soon, and happy TV watching on this springtime.